is the most coordination heavy command that we have.
Okay.
Okay. Which is why we're going to kind of drill it a little bit today, so you have enough reps to kind of internalize the exercise, and then I'll teach you how to actually practice it realistically speaking. Okay. So I'm going to have you clip this to his collar, but you're going to leave your short leash on him as well.
Okay. It's okay, baby boy. You're okay.
Alrighty. So which hand do you hold the remote in?
Oh, fuck. I left the remote in my car.
Do you want to call him to let him know?
I don't think he's going to be here.
I have a system here. So is it just you today?
No, I mean, he's coming. I just don't know if he's going to be here, like, right now.
Oh, I see, I gotcha. It's not a problem, because I have mine here.
Hello?
Hi, are you on your way?
Yeah, I'm just about done.
You're just about done, or you're on your way?
Just about done.
Okay.
And I'll be on my way.
How long do you think it's going to take you?
Probably like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good. See you soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye. He said he'll probably be here in like 15 minutes, so we can just get started.
So we'll take off the black collar here.
Okay.
We'll use ours for
Okay.
today, so you don't have to run back to your car.
Come here, sweetie. Yes, you're okay. I know. Good boy.
Excellent. There you go. It's already turned on.
Thank you. Hi, yeah, you know.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Okay. You're okay.
There you go. So which hand do you hold the remote in?
I have it in my right.
Your right hand? All right.
Yes.
So with the
Good boy.
remote in your right hand, I think it's easiest to have the leash over your right thumb.
Okay.
Okay, so your remote is here. And then the leash is going to be over the left hand. Okay, so with these three, so you have these fingers to press buttons. Mm-hmm. These fingers are here to grab the leash. Mm. Okay, so as Mango is coming towards you, you're going to be moving away from him, and you can reel in the leash like so.
Okay.
I'm going to coach you through everything, just like a general rundown. I find this to be the most efficient. A lot of clients tend to do something like this, and it gets very messy. I've had people smack themselves in the face. I had a lady wrap her leg and then knock herself backwards.
Oh, no.
Okay, so when we do it this way, it gets it out the way, and it's very efficient.
Okay.
The next thing is locking your leash, kind of like when we do the short leash lock, right? When you do this, it's very similar, except you're going to do it over here. Okay, Mango's a smaller dog, so the reason why we do this is if he's running towards you during a recall, if he passes you and continues to go, if you hold like this, he's probably going to rip that through your hand, so you can get rope burn. Okay, so by locking it like this, he shouldn't. It shouldn't feed through your hand. It should just lock in itself, so that doesn't happen. But if you're not ready and he's going or chasing something, and you have the leash like this, I would suggest you let this go, grab the remote, and clasp here. This becomes your fail-safe. Okay, so you should not be able to rip that through your thumb. Okay, so you still have them nice and secure. We're just not worried about the leash ripping through our hand. Okay, now the last thing here is if you would pull the leash out from under Mango there. Oh, there it is. That's fine. So here, I'm going to be holding the short leash. You'll be holding the long leash. Initially, we're going to preemptively kind of bring it up a bit. Okay, just to take up some slack here. And then we're going to, what were you at when you walked in on your remote?
Usually it's around a 20.
Around 20?
Around a 20, yeah, it depends.
So we're going to start at 15.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and dip that down. So whenever we teach anything new, we start off lower. And I'm going to coach you through this, but you would be tapping, and pending what Mango does, If he doesn't respond to the tap, you'll then continue tapping and then pull on the leash. You can see here I got a little bit of pressure on his collar there to direct him to come towards you. Okay, so I'm tapping. Once Mango starts coming towards me, I start moving back and then reeling the leash like so. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Questions on any of that? Alrighty. So I'm going to give you this, and then I'm going to take your short leash. So I'm going to hold Mango for you.
Okay. Come here, sweetie. Ooh. Nothing to be worried about, little dog.
There we go. So we do a trade here. Like this. Come here, bud. There we go.
Okay.
Good. He's like, what the hell is happening right now? And I'll have you walk towards the gray spot over there.
Okay. So I've got it around my thumb and in my hand.
Perfect. Okay. Now you're going to stand where you are and you're going to preemptively reel in some slack here. A little bit more. A little bit more. Perfect. About right there. So the reason why we want it here is this way if you need to pull him, it's going to be more immediate. Okay. You're at 15, correct?
Yes.
Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and tap, tap, tap. Let's go ahead and bump it. Let's go to 20.
Okay.
And tap, tap, tap. Now tap and lightly pull. Tap, tap, tap. Yep. Now here, move backwards. And you're going to reel in your leash. Yep. There he goes. Hold right there. Wait a moment. Step on the leash there. The orange leash. Yep. Now tap. Now praise.
Good boy.
Yep.
Hi. Good
There you
boy.
go. And I'll have you hand me the short leash. Excellent. You're going to cue break and then you can remove your foot.
Break.
Good. See if I get this under. There we go. Good. And wait a moment. I'm going to reel in some slack here. Wait a second, buddy. There we go. And tap, tap. Yep, now backwards, reel it in a little bit. Good. Hold right there. Good. Wait a second. Tap. Wait a second. Tap. Pull up on your leash and then give a tap. There we go. Now praise.
Good boy.
We're just wanting him to automatically sit right there.
Good boy.
Good. And
Good
break.
boy. Break.
And then grab short leash. Attaboy. Good boy. Good. Good. Wait a moment. And tap. Tap. Tap and pull. Tap. Good. Move backwards, reel it in. Good. Hold right there. Excellent. Wait a second. Wait a sec. Do a tap. Good. Praise.
Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy.
Good. We're gonna do two more. Break. Thank you.
Break.
Break. Attaboy. There we go. Good. Wait a sec. And wait a sec. And tap. 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 Tap and pull. There he goes. Good. Reel it in. Good. Hold right there. Tap. Good. Tap. Wait a sec. Praise. Good
Good boy. Good job. Good job, Mango. Good boy.
Good.
Good boy, Mango.
And break. We're going to do one more.
Break.
He's doing good, though.
Thanks. I'm glad.
Here, bud.
Ooh, I'm so sorry, sweet boy. That was my fault. Go ahead.
Good boy. Good. Wait a second. Everybody, you're all tangled up. There we go. Excellent. And tip. Tip. Good. And back. Tip. Good. Reel it in. Good. And now here, turn to face Mango. Move backwards and tap. Good. Hold right there. Reel it in a little bit. Wait a sec. Tap. Tap. Now move back. Tap. 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 Good. Hold right there. Up. Tap. Tap. A little bit of a pull on the leash. Tap. You got it. Almost. Tap. Tap. You got it. There he goes. Hold right there. Good. Now here, grab his leash lightly, pull up, and then tap. And then praise.
Good boy. Good boy.
Perfect. Let's go and bring Mango right here to the center.
Okay.
Break.
Break. Come on,
Good
let's
boy.
go up here. Good boy.
Good. So we're going to give him a little break to kind of rest and process.
Okay.
I'm going to explain what we're doing here. So a lot of times clients ask and they go, how come we're not using a word, right? How come we're not using the come word? If we did, if Mango ran to you, if you called him and pressed the button, I don't know what he responded to. Was it the word or was it the tap? So I'm backwards. I shape the behavior first, and once I've shaped it, then I can put a word on it. So then I know for sure the tap is working, okay? Same thing that we did here. So the first view, he was a bit confused. He was actually moving away, and if anything, kind of scooting towards me, right? This can come from a couple of things. One, a dog's first instinct typically with the e-collar is to move away from it because we've not taught it or applied it in this kind of context before. We've applied it on the leash walking stuff, but not at a distance. So he's thinking, I don't know what to do here, so I'm going to start to move away from it, okay? The other reason is because of the healing stuff, tap means to come closer to you. Because I'm the closest person to him, him scooting towards me might be him thinking like, well, am I supposed to get closer to you? Are we doing a heel? Which is where the leash comes into play. Because then if he's getting confused, I can apply the leash pressure to say, nope, that's incorrect. This is where you want to go. And the moment Mango is coming towards you, we stop tapping and then you just move back and did this, right? So we're essentially teaching him that there's another answer to turn off the collar, which is to come towards you. Okay, so dogs are context-based because clients will ask, so how does my dog know what to do? You know, so if we're in a heel, if this is you, if you come to a stop, Mango is supposed to automatically sit, right? So then if he's standing and you tap him, he goes, oh, the world looks a certain way. It's supposed to look like this, right? If Mango is 30 feet from you and he feels this, he turns around and goes, oh, mom's 30 feet away. So this must mean to come to her now. So even though it's the same sensation, the way life looks is different, and that's what helps dogs differentiate what to do in response. Does that make sense? Questions on any of that? So here, we can see a little bit of shaking coming from Mango because we're teaching him something new. He's going under stress, okay, because he's having to figure all this stuff out. As you practice with him, of course, all this stuff will start to go away, okay? Oh, so the moving backwards, super important. To this day, my guy's been off-leash trained 11, 12 years. You will, if I'm at the park, you'll see me do this every time I call them. Okay, it's a permanent fixture to the recall. A couple of reasons why. One is, let's say Mango is out of earshot. He can see you, but he can't hear you. So when you remote him, he feels it. That tells him he needs to do something. He turns around. He can't hear you, but he sees you doing this. So that lets him know, oh, I'm supposed to come back to her. Okay, so it's kind of like sign language. The other thing is it gives the dog something to attach to. So if you're in an environment where other stuff is going on, this separates him. Oh, it's a dog that panicked. Let's see right here. Looks like she stepped on it.
Oh.
Moving backwards helps the dog have something to attach to. Okay, so typically when people call their dogs, they're stationary, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. So if the dog is playing or chasing something, and then the owner calls the dog looks at the owner and goes, "What? This is boring. I'm doing something. This is fun," right? So by moving, it gives the dog something to attach to, but also makes it look like you're doing something, which also motivates them to want to come back to you. Okay, so even though my guys are off-leash trained, they already know what the recall is, they already have been conditioned. When I call them, I'm always at least doing 2 to 3 steps back just to confirm for them, this is what you're supposed to do. Questions? Moving backwards. Oh, I don't want to take my eyes off my dog until I know they're here with me. Especially at Oz Park, there's a little park where, part of the park where people let their dogs off leash to go play. And I've seen where people will call their dog. The dog will start to leave the group. Then the owner will walk away assuming the dog is going to follow them. And then either a dog intercepts them, they see a squirrel, something distracts them. So the owner keeps walking away assuming the dog is following, but then the dog is actually back over in the group again. So then the owner turns around, they're halfway across the park, they're mad because the dog is still playing. Okay. So I always want eyes on my dog until they're here. I actually had it happen to a client at Oz Park where she was playing fetch with her dog, and she was like in an isolated section of the park, and this guy came in with his lab and just like invited himself to play ball with her dog. And then when she threw the ball, her dog and the other dog went for the ball at the same time. Okay, but because she was watching the situation, she was able to address it because they ended up getting into a little scuffle, and she had to like 127 the dog to pull her out from the scuffle back to her. So I always want to have my eyes because I don't know on my dog because I don't know what's going to be happening in the environment if there are other people.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could be by yourself, you know, with Mango and Cookie Monster, just kind of minding your business, and then someone goes, "Oh look, there's 2 dogs off leash or something. Let me invite myself." So that's why it's nice to also just be aware of what's going on in the environment. Okay, questions on any of that? So with how we're practicing, this is not realistic. No one's going to be holding Mango for you. He's going to be off doing Mango things, right? So with the recall, I want to practice the recall while my dog is being a dog. Okay. Does he have prey drive? I can't remember.
Yes.
Squirrels and stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome. So dogs with prey drive are much easier to work with than dogs that don't have any kind of prey drive. Because especially if it's squirrels, you go to the park, I let them chase squirrels, let them be a dog. That's what dogs do. But now I have a distraction and a reward at the same time. So I can recall my dog from the squirrels, good boy, break, and reward him with more squirrels. Okay? Yeah. Dogs are simple creatures. So I don't care that he chases squirrels. He's a dog. He's a predator. That's what he's, you know, genetically wired to do. But I want to make sure that I can control him, right? So it makes life a lot easier because I do get dogs that don't have any drive for these things. So then the owner has to like make the dog like be distracted with stuff, and that's much harder. Okay. So if we pretend, for example, when where the camera is, if that's a tree with a squirrel in it, I have Mango on a 30-foot leash. I would release him. Just make sure that you're within the length of 30 feet because I've had clients be outside the length and the dog takes off on them and then they go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm within the length. Mango break. He goes and he's having fun, barking and jumping and all that stuff. Okay. And then I just let him have fun. You determine the length of time. A minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Mango come, tap, you pull him away. He comes to you. Good boy. We want to have the auto sit, of course. Good boy. I wait a little bit because sometimes dogs are tempted to go back. So by waiting, you might see where he'll preemptively break. I would start correcting him, move back to bring him back towards me, but I would not call him again. That's a correction. He comes back, wait a little bit. Good. Break. Back to the squirrels again. Okay? So he goes, oh, okay, cool. Come doesn't mean the end of the game. Colleen?
Just realized something. I don't know if I told him that.
Oh, the new address.
Yep.
Good catch.
Hello?
Hi, you know we're at the Canine Perspectives and not the park today, right? Crap. Okay. Well, we are. I'm sorry. I've totally spaced.
If he's at the park, tell him not to worry about it because by the time he gets here, it's probably gonna be the end of class.
Okay.
But I'll send the email or the video link so he'll get it.
Okay. Are you at the park?
Just about.
Just about at the park? Okay. You can just head home then, because apparently by the time you get back, he says it'll probably be the end of class.
Gotcha.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I'll see you at home, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oops.
You can add his email to the invite,
Yeah.
and then this way he'll have the information too. He can ask Tina to do so, but it's not the first time that's happening.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. So that's why we film this stuff so that everybody can just review it later on. Okay. So so I can reward him with chasing more squirrels, and then again, you just determine how long I want to give him. Now, right now, he drilled 5 in a row. Okay, that's not how you want to practice. We're just doing it so that you can get the mechanics down, so we can layer the foundation for Mango. Realistically speaking, you might go to the park and give Mango a full 30 minutes of like chasing squirrels and do 1 recall, and that's all you do. Okay. The reason for this is if you drill the recalls too much, it's going to dissuade him from wanting to do anything. Is that he'll just stay by your side and not want to wander away. Okay, so recall is the one command that does take the longest to teach because it requires more effort. You got to go to the park, hope that there's space for you to practice with, hope that it's a nice day, hope that there's squirrels or some kind of thing to get his attention, right? There's going to be a lot of variables involved that you might plan. Oh, I'm going to practice, 3 times this week, and then the weather is bad or it's too cold or what have you, and you only get 1 practice session in. I had a client where I trained her first dog, and she came back and I trained her second dog. And she told me that her first dog took her 6 months to train until she felt her dog was off-leash reliable, okay? Because of all those factors. So there's no rush here. Heel progresses very quickly because you walk your dog multiple times a day. It's very, very easy. And it's a stay next to me exercise. Recall is the opposite. Recall is leave me dog and go be a dog, right? But then if he's too paranoid and he's like, no, I'm going to just stay here because I don't want to be remoted, now we have an issue, okay? So you're going to make steps forward, you're going to make steps back. It's just part of the process. But definitely not drilling things is the way to go, okay? So if you start to notice Mango being apprehensive with chasing squirrels, where typically he would just go, that's already a signal to you that maybe you should slow down a little bit on the recalls. And I start to do less and less where I space them out. Okay? Questions on that? If you notice him not want to leave your side at all, it's not permanent. What you would do is you would stop recalls, go to the park still, let him be a dog, but do no recalls over and over again. Okay? And eventually you're going to go to the park and you say break. Mango's going to leave your side and look normal. Okay, so I go, okay, cool, you're over the hump now, but I wouldn't do a recall there because he's just starting to come back to normal. I might do a few more visits to the park before I start to integrate a recall here and there. Okay, so it's very finicky, but don't worry about it. Don't worry of trying. I get clients that try to avoid creating the apprehension, but then inevitably it still happens with the dog. And I tell them, no big deal, just keep going, don't do any recalls, get the dog back to normal and try again. Once he learns, the recall isn't because he's doing something bad or whatever. It's just you want him to come back from doing something and that he may get to go back and do it again. Things start to balance out.
Okay.
I've even had it where I'll let a dog chase squirrels, and instead of recalling them, I'll literally just reel them in with the long leash, and they're like lunging and barking at the squirrel, so they're very frustrated because I'm pulling them away, and I walk away with the dog going nuts because I want them to remember the last time. Yep, hold right there. Good, wait a second. Good. The last time I was here, the last thing I remember was chasing the squirrels and being frustrated because I couldn't get to them. But if you always call him and end it like that, it can start to dissuade them. Okay. And if you shoot me an email, I know it's a lot.
It is.
Once you get used to it, it's just second nature and intuitive. But yeah, all these things are pretty common with the recall type stuff.
Okay.
Question on any of that?
No.
That's also why we start lower, is we're little by little going up as needed. So with the squirrels, you might find maybe your number goes much higher, but but you're going 15, 20, 25. So then if you end at 30 and he finally pulls away, I go, okay. But the next time I do it, I'll still start lower and just keep doing that until eventually you learn, like, no, he needs 30 for squirrels.
Yeah.
Then you're just always at 30.
Okay.
Okay. Questions on any of that?
No.
So, when you go to the park, you'd have them on the long leash. You don't need to have the second short leash.
Okay.
That's only for today so that I can hold Mango for you.
Okay.
So that you can practice your recall exercises. Okay? That's okay. Give a tap here. Tap. Good. Right there. So his reaction to my employee walking in there, he got caught off guard. He got startled. All that is normal. You're simply disrupting the pattern right there. And you're telling him there's no need for you to be reactive here. And then for that last bit, because he was watching my employee like this, right? A little bit of residual suspicion there. You're also just saying, nope, that's not necessary right now. Okay? Question on any of that?
Mm-mm.
Alrighty, so we're going to do another batch here. We're going to start to layer in the word come, or some clients use the word here. Is there any word that you want to use in particular?
No, I guess it doesn't matter. My monster comes to like whistles,
Okay.
so that's usually what I do. But I can throw in come or here. It doesn't
If you
really
want to
matter.
do whistle,
Yeah.
you can. So instead of a cue, you're simply whistling, but then everything follows. Okay. I can't whistle, so I can't give you an example.
I see. I see. No, it's
So-
okay. We'll start with come because I mean she'll come to me.
Sure. But it's the same concept, except in that case, your cue would be the whistle.
Totally.
So everything stays the same, except you're going to have your cue, and then there's going to be the remote. Okay. Now, for this particular exercise with the recall, every time we call the dog, we always tap at least once. Okay. So if you whistle or call come and Mango is coming to you, that's good, but we're still going to tap at least once. Okay. If Mango doesn't respond within a quarter or half a second, you of course will start tapping anyways. But even if the dog is performing the task, which is the return, we're still going to tap at least one time. Okay?
Okay.
Questions on that?
No.
Alrighty, so I'll take Mango's leash here. One day I spent 4 hours trying to learn how to whistle, and I never learned, and my cheeks were like super sore.
Oh no.
Come here, bud.
He's so.
I have you pull that from under his legs there.
Come here, love. You're sitting on it. Excuse me.
Excellent, thank you.
There you go. Go.
Excellent. Okay, so you're going to reel in a little bit. Good. Okay. So you're going to cue the word come or whistle first, and then if no response within a quarter, half a second, start tapping. Or if he does respond, tap at least once anyways. Okay?
Okay.
When
Come.
you're ready? Tap, tap, tap. Reel it in and move backwards. Hold right there. Good. Now tap. And then step on the leash. Good. Wait a moment. So here, you see guys kind of ahead of you. Give a tap here. Tap. Tap. Take a step back. Good. Step on. There we go. Hold right there. And then step on the leash. Give a tap. Good.
Good boy. Good
So
boy.
when we perform the recall command, it's kind of like the heel where there's an auto sit paired in.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't say sit here. We just reinforce it through the collar, and eventually when you recall him, you'll start to see him automatically go into the sitting position.
Good boy.
Okay? So I'll take short leash here. Good, and break.
Break.
Good. Good, 1 second, good. Good, wait a moment, good. When you're ready,
Come.
tip, tip, tip. Good, backwards, lightly reel in. Hold right there. Now here, turn to face mango, move back, tap. Good, hold right there. Good, turn to face mango again, good job, back, tap, tap. Good, hold right there, excellent. Turn to face, back, tap, tap. Take a step back, good, hold right there, excellent. Tap. Praise.
Good boy.
Good.
Good boy. Good boy.
So that was good because there's a bit of distraction there, so I'll talk about that afterwards.
Good boy.
I'll take leash. Excellent. Break.
Break.
3 more. Good. When you're ready,
Come.
tip. Good, better. And back and reel it in. Hold right there. Now
Good
here, turn to
boy.
face mango. Take a step back, tap. Yep, hold right there. Now praise.
Good boy.
Good, 2 more.
My sweetie pie. Break.
Thank you. Break. Good boy. Good, wait a moment. Wait a moment.
Come.
Tip. Tip. Good. Yep, hold right there. See what he does. Now here, turn to face him. Move back, tap. Good, yep, reel it in. Good job. Turn to face, take a step back, tap. Good, hold right there. There it is, praise. Good,
Good
boy.
boy. Good
Excellent.
boy.
One more. Good job.
Good boy. Hoo. Break. Oh.
Careful, buddy. Good. Wait a moment. Good.
Come.
Yep, good. Hold right there. Excellent. And you can
Good
praise.
boy. Good boy.
Excellent. Just going to bring Mango forward.
Come on, sweetie. Come on.
Good. So there was a couple of those where he deviated, right? Which was good because it shows you how to fix when they're not as straightforward. So you're always facing Mango but moving away from Mango, okay? So if he's coming to you and then bypasses and goes that way, you turn to face him, start tapping, and move this way to bring him back this way. He goes that way, I turn to face him, start tapping, and move this way, okay? So eventually he comes in, and I don't care where he lands, left, right, front, back, or between your legs. I just care that he's within an arm's length reach, so within about 2 to 3 feet.
Okay.
So if he stops a little too shy, like right there, that would be too far. And instead of coming to him, which is what a lot of people do, is I take a step back and tap to get him to complete that last little bit. If you accept him stopping at a distance and going to him, it ends up becoming where he'll look like he's coming to you and he'll slow down but then take off again. Or when you go, the dog will take off to play like a game of chase. Okay, so I always want them within my immediate space. They're much less likely to take off prematurely, much less likely to do that kind of stop and go. It's going to be more so stopping and being with you. Okay, Questions on that? Sometimes dogs do what I call fanning, where they're running around you in a circle, and you're literally like walking like this, okay? So you're moving away still, but you're trying to keep facing the dog, and you're tapping until eventually you'll see them kind of lock on, and then you would continue moving into one direction, okay? Otherwise, how you handled the leash was really good. There was no issues there. And the reason for shortening it each time is you're just little by little limiting his range of motion. Otherwise, if you always leave him with the full 30 feet of slack, it's going to be that much harder for him to try to figure out, because he's got 30 feet of radius to try everything else, okay? So every time when you're moving back and you're just little by little shortening it, that was all correct, okay? Question on any of this? When you call Mango, technically speaking, he's supposed to stay with you until you give him a new command or you release him. So if you call him from the squirrels and he comes to you and you wait 5 minutes, I don't care what he does, as long as he's within an immediate space. Sometimes the dogs will even kind of walk around the owner to the opposite side. That's technically okay, because it's not like heel. Heel is strict, it's very one-sided, only the left side sit when I stop type of stuff. For the recall, I don't care if he sits and or lays down or where. I just care that, again, he's in within the immediate space, okay? So like right now, he was standing close to you and then decided to lay down. Like that would all be technically fine in the recall, okay? Questions on that? We got practicing with the squirrels and stuff. So the reason why we tap every single time we call Mango right now is if I'm Mango, right? He's playing, you call him, he comes or starts coming to you, and then you press the button. What do you think might happen?
You might think he's doing something wrong.
Correct. He might be thinking he's doing the wrong thing. So then he might stop or go the opposite way. Okay? So in training, we have training and proofing. Training is what we did right now. We just trained Mango. When you feel this, he means to come to me, right? Proofing is no matter when I remote you, no matter what level I might remote you, or what's going on, you'll always have to perform the task, okay? So if you call Mango, and he turns, he starts coming to you, and you tap him, and he's like, maybe that's wrong, and he goes this way, you wouldn't call him again, you would just keep tapping until he does this, and then I would stop. So that kind of, you're confusing him, but then correcting him, teaching him, nope, that's incorrect. What you were doing in the first place was correct, okay? It's just part of the process, and the reason why I have you tap every time is if you always tap Mango, when you call him, sooner or later you're going to screw up. Sooner or later you're going to tap him at the wrong time. Maybe you had the remote in your pocket and you pulled it out and you accidentally bumped it, and you tap him at a 60 as opposed to a 20, and it spooks him, right? All that stuff is stuff that I want to happen because he's on the long leash right now. I'm not worried about if I screw up, is he going to run away? Okay, we're going to do all that stuff now. So by the time we're fully off leash, we're fairly confident that we've worked through all the issues. So that's why earlier that client that I said it took her 6 months before she considered her dog to be fully off leash reliable. That's also part of the reason why. Okay, questions on that? The last thing with proofing, and I leave this to be optional for clients, is anytime anyone's ever told me that they were like, super grateful for the remote collar, has typically been something spooked the dog and the dog is running away. So they've had to override the fear flight response to return the dog. In almost all the cases, they're max power, continuous a lot of times, okay, which is the harshest, highest level correction that you can give, okay, is what I've been telling my clients now is, as a part of proofing, once you feel like Mango is solid and you're very confident in his training, I go to the park, I pop him on the long leash, I tell him break, I let him, Mango be Mango. I'm holding onto the end of the leash, and without warning, without words, I will max out the collar and give a few taps. Okay, it's gonna suck. He's either gonna yip and yelp, or he's gonna try to take off on you. Okay, he's gonna do one of two things. He's gonna try to take off and or come towards you, but all those things paired with the yelp, okay? Because at 127. So if I remote a dog 127 after my training, 5 months later, whatever, and they run to me, good boy, praise, 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 praise. He's good because he did what I wanted in response to high pressure, or he tries to take off. So if the dog tries to take off, they're running from the pressure because it's too high. I have to work them at that level of pressure and to get them to override the situation, which sucks even more because it's so high, you're gonna probably get that, you're gonna get yipping, okay? Oh, that's a dog in the kennel. And you get a yelp. Eventually the dog overrides, starts coming to you, you stop the tapping, good boy, good boy, good boy, praise, okay? And then we act like nothing happened. The reason why I do this is you're priming yourself and your dog in case of an emergency should it happen. You've already done it before, Mango's already done it before. Does that make sense? And I leave it optional to clients, you don't have to do it, but in the cases where I've had clients have to max out the collar, they're doing it real time. It's in the moment. It's someone blew up a firework, my dog is spooked and running away, and I have to figure this out now with no leash on my dog, right? So when we do it in a controlled context, it sucks because you know what's going to happen. It sucks when your dog feels it, and if he decides to get flighty and you have to work through all that stuff, all that's going to suck. But then should you get caught in that situation, you've already done it before, Mango's already done it before, you're going to be that much more likely to return him. Does that make sense? So again, you don't have to, and this is down the line. This is months when you're like, okay, Mango's solid. The last thing we have is this final step, and that's more of a just in case. So I call it like having a fire escape plan and hoping that there's never a fire. You're just kind of practicing in that. And then typically what I recommend is once you've done it the first time, once a year, it's just kind of a refresher of just in case, just to keep it in play for in the dog's head. Okay? Other questions? So your homework now is simply to practice the recalls when you have the opportunity. Don't worry about like, we have to get this done every day or at least once a week. When you have the opportunity, you go and practice. Okay? It's more effort because you had to go in the car, drive to the park, hope that it's nice. Winter's going to come at some point too, so you're not going to get as many recalls during the wintertime, I would assume. But you also, you can do what I call my short distance recall, which is when you're taking Mango out for a walk, when you let him do his potty breaks, I'll stretch out as far as I can on the short leash, wait for an opportunity, come, tap, and it's 6 to 8 feet, but it allows you to get kind of a few more reps in, especially during the wintertime when you're not going to be out there for 30 minutes with him. But when you do have the opportunities, popping them on the long leash and of course letting them chase squirrels and stuff. Okay? Questions on any of that? Do you have any idea what you want to cover for your next class?
We were talking about maybe doing the in-home one.
Okay.
But I think that would maybe be better in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I think the biggest thing right now that we're still struggling with is when he's like barking in the house at people who are just like walking down the street.
Okay.
Or like when we are in the car, he'll like, usually he's very good in the car. But if a bike passes by, fucking hates bikes, man.
Okay.
So he'll freak out in the back seat. But yeah, that's the biggest thing right now.
Is he tethered in the car? Like, is he? No, he's free roaming. So what I would suggest is you can buy like.
We have tethers for like road trips and stuff. But usually when we just pop him in the car, we just toss him in.
Yeah. So I recommend using your tether or whatever. I got an employee coming, just heads up. To limit his range of motion. So if he starts barking at a bike and you go to correct him, he is most likely going to try to jump in the front seat. Okay? So having the tether or the harness for the car ride keeps him limited on where he can go so that you can correct him without worrying about him trying to jump into the front. Okay? So I wouldn't try this until you have a tether.
Yeah.
Or if you take your leash here and tie it to like the back headrest, giving him just a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
I would say no more than probably 1.5 feet or so. And then you can correct him in the car for like the bike stuff or any kind of reactivity. And then just keep tabs on your remote levels. So if he hates bikes, your number might be higher than 20. Plus you're in the confined context of a car. So a lot of times things seem more threatening because he only has so much space. Whereas outside, technically, if he could run away. Whereas you don't have that in the car. Okay, so don't be surprised if that number goes higher for that. and just keep tabs. So if you correct him at 20 and it doesn't work, the next time I'm in the car, I might be at 25 already, assuming I'm only going to use it for the bikes. If he sees a bike and he's barking and he doesn't stop at 25, the next time I'm in the car ride with Mango, I'm at a 30. And I just keep going up until I find a number that stops him in the car. Okay. Now the next bit with the barking inside the home is he sees is he looking out the window all the time, or is he hear something and he just runs?
He hears something and
Okay.
goes.
What's your setup like? Like, how's the home look like?
So there's the front door, and when you walk in, there's stairs to the upstairs. You have to make a right to get into like the living room area. Windows along the front, an open room, then kind of a doorway into our second room with like the couch and the TV.
Okay.
And then another doorway into the kitchen and the backyard.
So is that second room kind of where you spend, that's your like lounge, the living room or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So if he hears a person, where is he charging to?
He jumps down from the couch and goes to the window next to the litter box to freak out and bark.
Okay, and that's also within the living room space, or is that a separate?
Yeah, it's like one. It's just like there's like a doorway, but it's not a door. It's just one.
Like a big
Yeah.
threshold thingy?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotcha. Okay. So have you been applying the remote in the home? No? Did I say you could last class? I can't remember.
We talked about using it like in the backyard when he.
Oh, in the backyard?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about using it in the house.
Okay, so you can use it in the house. So you can use your remote now to correct anything as long as he's on the leash, on a long leash, or within an enclosed area.
Okay.
Okay. The concern is, well, today we technically covered it. We covered recall. But like if he were to be fully off leash, for example, at the park, and he goes to eat a chicken wing and you remote him and you have to go higher, is the concern of, before recall, spooking the dog away. Okay, so now that we've covered recall, if you're outside, he'd be on the long leash, so you have some kind of tether. But you can use that to correct him when he's on the short leash, in the home or in the yard, because we're enclosed. We're not worried about the dog taking off.
Right.
Okay, so you can start doing that to start settling things down in the home. Chances are, if he's got the collar on, he's going to be better behaved, and then when he doesn't, he's going to be less better behaved. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is start first with applying it in the home when you feel like he's at his worst. So for most clients, they'll know like, oh, between like 4 to 7 p.m. or in like in the morning when people are leaving and going from work and stuff is the worst. They'll have the collar already on the dog, and they're just correcting. Remember, we're not saying anything, we're just correcting when he performs the behavior. And then after, I would say, a week or so of that, you can see, or even during when you're practicing that, if you notice, yeah, when he's got the collar on, he's much better, but when he's got the collar off, he's still doing the behaviors, let me know, and then I'll talk to you about an alternate means of correction.
Okay.
Okay? It's most likely going to end up that way, because more often than not it does, because it's a cop on a collar. You're not going to have it on 24/7.
Right.
So then he learns to play the game of the collar's not on, so now I'm going to bark.
Yeah.
Okay? Other questions? So you said in a couple of weeks, maybe do the in-home.
Yeah.
And then, are you on the calendar for next week? Do you know?
Not yet, but I mean.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So for that class, do you know what you'd like to cover? So we could do a couple of things. One would be the pressure exercise, which is you're going to have Mango, and I'm going to come into his personal space. Today he was fine, but I was avoidant. Like I was taking the leash from you. When I would grab the leash, I was grabbing it further away. I wasn't going into the personal space. Okay, so that would be the next thing I would suggest, and or stationary control, which is laying on a dog bed. I don't have one here. I have one upstairs. So like if guests are coming over, and like maybe Mango, maybe one of the people is scared of Mango, or Mango doesn't like one of the guests, you have a place to keep them confined, stationary wise. So I would do either one of those things.
Okay.
Okay. But at some point, I would recommend doing the pressure exercise, because that's what's going to help Mango learn that not everything's always going to be on his terms.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes someone might make the mistake and just go, oh my God, your dog is cute.
Yeah.
And go to pet him. And that's what that exercise is for. So that we're much less likely to see an outburst there.
Right.
Okay. Other questions? Good job.
Thanks.
Break.
Break. Break. He says, I still don't understand what that means.